Hey guys, welcome to an overview of the VPSX admin console. What you're looking at is the screen you'll see after you log in. Each line you see here is a queue. Each queue generally points to a physical print device. This isn't always the case. You can point the queues to either an electronic delivery area such as a file system, storage, SharePoint, things like that. You can point it to a conversion area, which this queue is. This queue actually converts to PDF. And there's some various other places you can point them. We'll go over that in another video. As you can see, I have the printers selected on my left side, and that gives me this display. This display can be modified by masking. This can filter out printer status, and device properties, as you can see here. And we can quickly find out what printers possibly are in an error state, what printers possibly are diverted, maybe converting, whatever the case may be. We can filter by all these options here. I can select multiple print queues holding Control or Shift, and I can perform bulk actions on those print queues, as you can see here. Under my Add tab, I can add a printer, which I generally will never do. I'll almost always right-click and copy a existing print queue that closely matches the one I'm about to add, and activate it. Activate will bring in a printer that's currently deactive, that's just sitting on the file system. This is generally not used very much except in migrations and other more advanced tasks. Along with my masking, I have another way to edit my view. I can look at each column here, get rid of some of them, or add others. For instance, if I want to just see some things about my pull print and pull and secure scan, I can just add those and have a nice display here. It gives me a summary of what printers are deployed and what their status is. I can search by printer name and these other options. I can see who I'm logged in as in the top right here, and I can modify some personal preferences if I wanted to. I have a nice warning up here in orange that says I have license issues, and I can see which queues have license issues by the yellow exclamation here. If I right-click on that and hit Admin Update, I'll be taken right to my license area, and I can see the warnings here, and I can fix those. What I also have here is an MFP Secure tab. This is the LRS pull print solution. As you can see, this will display all of my pull print servers that are configured to work with this VPSX system. Under the print server menu option here, I by default get a dashboard that I can quickly see jobs coming in and out. I can quickly see jobs in error state. If I had jobs in error or diverted, I could just click this link, and that would take me back to my print queue area, and effectively just put the mask on for me. This effectively just filters for me. So back to the print server area. There are some more advanced options for administrators under Configure. This generally is not exposed to anybody but engineers who are administrating the VPSX system itself. As you can see, I can change ports, and there's some advanced things I can do with load balancing, etc. However, the log area is quite a useful area. This log is the log for the entire system. That means the print queues, the jobs, everything going on in the backend system is logged in this area. If I wanted to narrow it down a little further, I could go back to my printers area and simply view the log specific to that printer. This area, again, is only for this print queue and it's filtering out of the main log just on this print queue. If there were job issues in here, I'd have a lot more displaying. Back to the print server log area, I can go back in time if I want to and see logs that are kept as long as I've configured them to be kept. If I want a quick overview of what my license situation looks like when I'm expiring, that's what this license section is for. If I have SAP servers configured, they'll show up in here. Again, Windows drivers, same thing, show up in here. Linux and Mac. Those drivers will show up in this section. So the VPSX connections area, I have nothing configured in here, and that's a separate video. And under security, I also have a dashboard that doesn't display very much. This isn't a section I'll need to go into very often, and this isn't really a section that anybody needs to monitor. The main area under security would be users and groups. Mostly groups. So in groups, I can configure Active Directory groups on a granular level. In other words, I can add security rights for an Active Directory group, say for the help desk, where I'd give them display, connect. Maybe I'd let them divert, or whatever the case may be. Now, if this was a help desk group in Active Directory, they would have access to all printers to divert. This web section is generally not used very much. Again, there's nothing really to configure in here. If you're having issues with the web page responding, maybe you're clicking on something in the admin web page here and it's not going through to VPSX, I might want to go and check the log here and just make sure everything looks good. But other than that, I'm not really going to use this web section too much. Before we get into apps, I'll just quickly note that the web section, the security section, and the printers section are 3 separate services, all combined to create what we call VPSX. The web section is called NetX. That's a separate service that runs, that simply interprets your clicks in a website and tells the VPSX engine what to do. The security section is the ServerX service, and that interprets security for the entire system, whether you're connected to Active Directory or some other LDAP, or you're using internal security. And then the printer section is the 3rd service that makes up VPSX. That is the actual spooler engine that pretty much does all the work. Now under your apps and Vespa, we have an engine that will connect print queues to workstations as you log in. This is based on user, computer name, Active Directory group, and IP address. In other words, as a user logs in, I am automatically going to connect print queues to that desktop environment based on their user ID and these other criteria. And those within seconds, those print queues will show up for the user. This is especially useful for a virtual desktop infrastructure. When I connect and reconnect, the engine will determine, again, these 4 criteria and create my print queues as needed. On a reconnect, I'll delete print queues that I no longer need and connect the print queues that I now need. In other words, if I'm on a computer, a physical terminal, and I'm on floor 1 and I move to floor 2, I may not need the printer that's closest to this terminal anymore. I need the printer that's closest to this terminal, and we'll perform a delta upon reconnect. Print portal administration is for floor maps and how we display the print queues to the end users. So if I come in here to my location section and I find a floor map, I've actually uploaded one already and laid some printers out. You can see the floor map here will have my print queues. Those are simply drag and drop, very easy. These all point back to these print queues in the printer section. I can show more printers if I've assigned more printers to this floor map. Simply click plus and then drag and drop where that printer resides. For print policies, This is also a separate video. However, in summary, the end users, as they print, have conditions on their print queues, and you can trigger those conditions in any way you choose. For instance, I could say a job that's in color, I'm going to force people to print in black and white. Also, the Windows migration section is a separate video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.